Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives. Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today I'm going to focus on giving you guys updates, and I don't know if you can tell in my attitude and in my energy, but I finally found my happy place again, officially in I feel like all areas of my life, which is a lot of times hard for us to accomplish. And I did struggle with it for months, actually, when I was having trouble with getting sick back to back with us and the kids, having trouble with the sleep routine or morning routine, and also with business being slower than normal with the economy nowadays. So I was really thrown off. Oh, and also being pregnant, hormones, not being able to work out since I'm a high risk pregnant. My whole world felt like it was all over the place. It took me months, but I finally figured out how to get back into a happy place where I can literally, again, wake up and be like, okay, I'm happy again. I'm ready to take on the world, right? It does take a lot of work, but I want to talk about the different things that I've been doing in this past, maybe officially really 2 months I've been doing and focusing on to get to this place. So I hope you guys learned something, and I hope it helps you in your life. And again, the goal is to be fully content, balanced individuals in our personal lives and in our work lives. So to start off with, again, we hear this all the time and we know it, or people might tell us do one thing at a time, but we genuinely don't even do one thing at a time. We may attempt to do one thing at a time, but we're also thinking about 10 things at a time. But that's the biggest mistake I feel like I was making, because as I mentioned, I was having problems with the kids' sleep, with business being down, with my personal exercise and mental goal with being fit, and all that stuff was just in my head bothering me, and I couldn't find my happy place, right? So when we're also not even physically focusing on one thing, but we're mentally thinking about all the things that we wish we can fix, or we wish we had, or we wish we did, it's preventing us from making actual progress. So this is a reminder for everyone out there, and for myself also. I finally got to that place to genuinely focus on one thing at a time and not even think about everything else that's not perfect at the moment. In our lives, in our work, in our businesses, it's very easy to get kind of tied up in the mess that goes on in our head, that, oh, I wish this was better. I wish I could do this. Oh, I can't wait until this happens, right? We're just looking and wishing for something better or more for the future. But when it's too many things, we can't focus on any of it. And all it does is cause us more stress, more frustration, and therefore puts us in a worse mental state for us in order to be successful or get out of that kind of toxic loop. So first things first, I want everybody to sit down and think about the number one main thing that you know is getting in your way, right? It may be something small. It could be car problems, right? But you think that's not your real issue. You think your initial problem is getting to work on time, for example. I don't know, that's not the best example, but I'll give you guys the example for me. Like for me, I really wanted to be very productive at work doing certain projects, but I realized that's not going to happen until I take care of my personal stuff that's really holding me back. And after really analyzing it, my number one thing was my morning routine with the kids. And before that, it was the sleep, right? It kind of goes hand in hand. If we don't get good quality sleep in the mornings, we're already tired, and then we're not going to have a good day. And then on top of that, if we don't have a good morning routine, if it's just you or you have kids and a family, everybody's routine that has anything to do with you is going to throw off your whole day. So I realized, okay, first things first, we're fixing the sleep at nights. I'm tired of spending 2 hours with my kid and then being in a negative state of mind where it's like, oh, it's taking too long, I'm too tired. We're going to suck it up and we're going to try different sleep training techniques to make sure that everybody's getting good quality sleep. Again, it took a couple of months to really like sit down and be disciplined to do it, but I wasn't able to fully get to that place until I made that one goal my only goal. Literally, that was my only thing I wanted to accomplish. If not even with work or business, I just decided, okay, I'm going to do that one thing because that's what's holding me back from everything else. I'm not going to worry about our sales numbers. I'm not going to worry about this or that project at work. I'm still going to put in effort when I'm at work with my hours, but I'm not going to worry about, or I'm not going to stress about accomplishing any goals until I finish this one goal. Literally one focus at a time. And then that's when I was able to really like fix this problem within, I'm going to give it 2 months, but it was probably quicker than that once I put my 100% focus on that one goal only. But prior to that, at least for 10 months, I was struggling with that issue. It wasn't getting solved. It was getting a little better, a little worse, but it was just dragging on until I put my 100% focus on it and didn't worry about any other goal. And then after that, I realized, okay, so this is great. Now we're sleeping, we're rested in the morning, but the morning routine is really throwing us off. We're running behind schedules. We're procrastinating on getting dressed. We're watching TV just to kind of fully wake up instead of getting out of bed right away. So all these little things. Again, I didn't worry about anything else. I focused on that one routine to fix. Literally within 2 weeks, it was solved and we're happy. Like, you guys, this is, I don't want to brag, but we're waking up super happy, and our theme song is shake, shake, shake your booty. So that's how the shake your booty song is the song we wake up to. And literally, instead of being like groggy, that's the song that puts us in a good mood. We're sleepy, but we dance to this song. We wake up and then right away we get dressed and we get ready instead of wasting so much time procrastinating in the morning. That just trickles down throughout my day. Then I could get to the office in time. I'm happier. I'm rested, and I can really focus on my next goal. If you guys are curious, another thing I've talked a lot about is the meditation, right? And I realized I had a big limiting belief that I didn't catch until recently. So limiting beliefs are things that we think is holding us back from whatever we want to do, but it's really just a limiting belief. It's just in our head. It's just what we believe. There is actually a way to get what we want. And we humans, we do this all the time. For example, for my example, it was, okay, I'm high risk pregnant. My doctor doesn't want me to work out. I'm letting this it was really making me in a bad state of mind, because working out is what would put me in a positive state. It's what would distress me. It's what would make me feel good that I'm doing something for myself and my body. But now that that was out of the question, that was not an outlet for me, I was lost, right? And it was actually kind of also a blessing in disguise. I had to find another outlet in order to kind of get into my woosah place, and that thing that I found was meditation. But I was still finding the working out thing, it was bugging me, but I didn't realize that it was also a limiting belief. So although I'm high risk, I can't like run and do like intense exercise, and mostly cardio is what was making me feel better and de-stress. But I can do certain exercises and I can work on certain muscles in my body that I've always wanted to work on but never focused on because I had different things I wanted to do. So I caught that. I was like, oh my God, this whole time, and this is my third pregnancy, and this has been my limiting belief. So what is that? At least like 5 years now that, oh, I can't work out. But I realized there is low intensity, certain things that I can even do sitting down or laying down. And it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, I can work on my glutes. That has been an area that I've been wanting to work on for a long time. And here's how it trickle down, right? So when we actually get into a better state of mind, we pay more attention to ourselves and our bodies, and things end up working out better for us. So this is kind of what happened. Because I couldn't do the working out to get out of my, or like to be able to de-stress or like do something for myself, I found the meditation was the next thing I wanted to learn to have an outlet. So I started reading about, studying. I went to like local meditation introduction class, and I'm actually just finished an online inner engineering class by Sadhguru. A lot of you might have heard of him, but we have an Isha Yoga Center by us, and they had an online version of this program. That's 7-day course online, or 7 sections, and then 2 full days you go in person. So I'm going to go do that this weekend. I'm super excited, and I'll tell you guys about it after I'm done with that program. Basically, I took action instead of wishing and hoping I had another outlet. I started meditating, or I started learning about meditation. I haven't fully feel like have a perfect routine with meditating yet, but because of it, a lot of the meditations, the instructions were to sit in a cross-legged position on the floor, and I realized like my right side or my right leg, I wasn't very comfortable sitting in a cross-legged position. And I know in the past, when I was working out, I would get a lot of knee pain, and I'm going to share this with you guys because I know a lot of people can benefit from strengthening these groups of muscles, okay? And it's okay, before I tell you what it is, let me go back a little bit. So here's how it started. So I was having trouble sitting on the floor. Then I realized, okay, something's like tight in there that it kind of hurts. My leg's kind of going numb, and it's not comfortable. So then I started kind of looking into stretches I could do to sit more comfortably inside while I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, right, for the meditation. And some things came up, you know, YouTube, you're watching one thing, then another and another. So I got lost in the YouTube rabbit hole, but it was a positive thing I was getting lost in. I realized that my gluteus minimus and medius, so not the main big muscle back there, but the 2 small ones that support the big muscle and that support your hips, and that all is connected to like your knees and all that, your lower back. I realized those 2 minor muscles were very weak for myself, especially on my right side. And that led me into doing these specific exercises that I can do while pregnant, sitting down or laying down. Seems very easy, but it's actually a great exercise to strengthen these muscles, and all of our bodies connected. So if these two muscles are muscles that we don't use on the daily, like to sit, to walk, not even to run, I think. So they can be very weak and we might not know it. But what I realized is also back in the day when I would run a lot and exercise, my knee would start hurting after a while, and my lower back would start hurting, and that was all on my right side. So again, this is not medical advice. I'm not a physical therapist. But with my research and with my back, like a little bit of knowledge with going to a physical therapist, I realized this was it. You know, this is what I need to work on. And I can do it right now. So it was a limiting belief that I can't work out. Instead, I can't do certain exercises or a lot of exercises, but I can still work out. And surprisingly, this like 15-minute a day, it's making me happy because now I don't feel like I have a limitation. It's not holding me back. I can actually work out. And I would never focus on these 2 little muscles, honestly, that can make such a big difference in the future of my form, of my back pain, my knee pain, of when I work out intensely. Anyways, I wanted to share that story with you guys because I know we all have a lot of limiting beliefs that we don't catch sometimes. And I think I've done a full podcast episode just on limiting beliefs. If I find it, I'll link it below. But the moral of the story for the limiting beliefs is, if you feel like you have a thought, like you want to do something or get something, and you have a thought that it's not possible. And the reasons behind why it's not possible could be a million things. But if it triggers you and you think it's not possible, that's your biggest clue that, hey, it might be a limiting belief. So instead of writing down all your list, or you can start off by writing down all your list of why it's not possible. But then with your help or help of the internet or help of friends, I want you guys to really think about alternative options of why it is possible. So then we're literally changing our limiting beliefs of why it's not possible. Instead, we're talking about, okay, but how can it be possible? Obviously, from there, you can take action and see how it all goes. Now, the next two things I added into my routine and into my life are doing something for myself that I know is going to make me feel good. And the second thing is doing something that's going to take me out of my comfort zone. So those two things I remembered in the past have made a big impact on my life and made me feel good and then in a happy place. And then therefore I had more energy to be successful and grow my business. Okay, so to feel good, the thing I added to my weekly schedule is to get weekly blow dries, because I realized I really hate fixing my hair or blow drying my hair. I just need that part to be ready and done on the regular. So that's one thing I did for myself. Another thing you can do is totally up to you that you want to add, right? It can be daily walks, weekly walks, or going to the beach, whatever it needs to be. It needs to be something for yourself, at least weekly, that you can do, that you know this is the time for yourself, okay? The next thing is getting out of our comfort zone. Nobody enjoys getting out of their comfort zone. So this one you have to force yourself to do. But once you do it, it's going to make you feel so good. It's almost like, yeah, I did that, you know? And the thing I decided to do to get out of my comfort zone, I wanted to keep it super simple and easy and not add extra time into my day or like my weekly life, just because right now I'm really short on time with everything that's on my plate. I decided to go out to lunch by myself. So literally, like, you know, when we grab lunch, we usually just grab a quick bite, take it to the office, take it home, eat in the car, anything that's not fully public when we're alone. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take myself out to lunch or mini dates or whatever we want to call it, but alone, because that's uncomfortable, but it really, really, again, puts you out of your comfort zone and therefore makes you feel good. And it actually made me feel really good, weirdly, taking myself just to a lunch. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on my date to myself. It sounds so silly, even now I'm smiling about it, but at first I was like, oh, it's kind of weird, you know, I don't want to go sit at a restaurant by myself. And I took myself to somewhere somewhat nice. So I went to like a nicer sushi place, and people don't usually go to places like that alone. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But I still needed like something with me. So I took my book with me. I always have a book with me. I was like, okay, that's good enough, you know, baby steps. So I went, I said, I ordered, and they asked me, are you alone? I said, I'm alone. And it was very uncomfortable at first, almost like, oh my God, am I like a loner? Am I like not cool enough to have a friend or somebody to come to lunch with me? I was like, no, we need to find solitude and we need to find happiness with just fully being alone and present at that moment without needing anybody or anything from the outside world. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this. So I think once I got over the fact like of what people are gonna think, I almost started feeling like cool. Like I'm so cool and I'm so much better than the average person who feels weird doing this, because I could do this all by myself. But it was nice. Like once I got over my head, I sat down, I ordered my nice and you know, I'm not allowed to have too much raw food. I'm pregnant. Weirdly, that's all I crave is sushi right now. But I ordered my salmon. I ordered my spicy tuna roll and like some stuff with truffle oil. I've just felt so great. I felt like, oh my God, I'm having fun with just myself. And it's just a typical day. It was like a weekday. If I can add these experiences in my week just for myself, by myself, life gets happier, it gets better. You really learn to enjoy the moment and enjoy your own company. So that's the goal of taking yourself out to a date. Now, my next date, I've been wanting to see the Barbie movie, guys. Don't judge me. And I don't know why it's not working out to go with anybody. So I decided my next self-date night is going to be to go see the Barbie movie. And I'm going to be super weird and get out of my comfort zone. I'm actually going to do the whole thing. I'm going to dress up and I'm going to go by myself and watch the movie. And I'll let you guys know how that goes. But, we're committed to getting outside of our comfort zone. So that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. All right. 2 more things I want to share with you guys before I let you go. And again, I think it's been a game changer this couple of months for me to get into like a really happy state. And if you guys ever felt like that, like you fully have control over your life and everything's amazing, it's an amazing feeling. If you've never felt like that, please take my word for it. Try to do these things and see what an impact it makes on you. So what was the last 2 things? What else I was reminded and I realized is to pay attention to what I'm doing on the daily. So I started doing a personal journal of literally logging. And I know I've talked about this in the past, but I want to mention it again because I had to redo it for myself to kind of catch my areas of, I don't know, I guess negative moments or like the moments of the day that's making me not feel so great. I wanted to catch it and do something about it because it adds up. Sometimes when we're unhappy or we're stressed or we're tired, it's the little things that adds up. It's not necessarily one big issue. We'll be like, oh, I feel shitty, but I don't even know why. Everything's fine. Anyways, so this is what you do. For 2 weeks, it's a commitment. You have to do it. You need to do it for yourself, right? So for 2 weeks, you're literally carry a journal or your phone or whatever you want to use, and you're logging your day hourly. You're not trying to be on your best behavior in this 2 weeks. You're not trying anything. It's easy. You literally go on with your life just like you've been, and you're logging for 2 weeks on the hour of what you're doing. So what time you're waking up, what you're eating, because also food can be a big factor of how we feel, who you're spending time with, what you're doing, and all of that. So for 2 weeks, if we're logging all of this, and this could be actually really productive for your work life as well. You could do it separately. You could do it for your personal time and then your work time. So you could see where your time is going and how you can make it better or be more efficient, or at least spend your time on doing things that make you happy and feel productive, or whatever makes you happy versus the negative emotions. So that's also what I did to find like little areas that I can change and improve in my life and in my daily schedule of what I'm doing. And I think it was like a big aha moment. It's like, oh my God, I thought I don't watch TV, but I am actually still watching like at least like an hour or hour and a half a day. Like, how did this happen? Like, if I really want to put my time into something more meaningful for myself, and right now my main thing is I want to like be good at meditating, then that hour and a half that I spend on the TV to just relax and like try to woosah or whatever you want to call it, I can be using that to learn about something that's going to make me feel good, right? So that's kind of why you do that, to find where your time is going, what you're doing, and what's making you feel how. Now, the last thing that I did, and I think that was like the cherry on top to put me back into this joyous state, was I sat down. Sometimes it's annoying to do, but you force yourself to sit down and then you feel great on doing it. But I sat down and I redid my daily plan, okay? So usually, we just kind of go with the flow and how the days go. Our schedule in our life is a little bit more structured when we're in school and when we're in work, or like if we have to be somewhere timely. But our morning routines and our evening routines a lot of times are not very consistent or very thought through. We just kind of do what we gotta do to get to work. So I realized those are the areas that's kind of been bugging me. So let me just sit and figure out where I can fit in the things I actually want to do daily, right? So if it was like that 15-minute exercise to work on my minimus and medius glutes muscles, if it's stretching to be able to sit on that yoga pose, if it's having that 30 minutes to do my breath exercise, if it's whatever it is, right? So I literally sat down and realistically planned where I can fit these things, or if I need to let go of these weird expectations that I expect myself to do on the daily or in the weekly, that's not possible. I finally sat down and came up with a plan that I'm happy with. And then now I don't have to worry about, oh, I wish I had time to do this. Oh, I wish I didn't do this, right? So now I'm making conscious decisions of what I want to do and what I don't want to do and what I realistically can do and cannot do, instead of just worrying about and wishing this and that. For me personally, I pretty much figured out a way to fit in these things that I've been wanting to do for a long time within my day and my week, and have a smoother morning and evening schedule. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I want to close with this, right? Sometimes it may feel unrealistic to spend all this time and effort on yourself or self-care, or to try to work out, try to meditate, to try to have a routine, to slow down and do one thing at a time. But the reality of it is, if you do all of these things and get into a better state of mind and a happier place in your life, what you can do productively in 8 hours when you're not in this happy place, you can do it in 1 hour when you are in this happy place. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but from my personal experience, and I know there's a lot of research out there, you can be more productive in less amount of time. So the goal should really be to get to this happy place in order to have a nice, fully balanced everything. Take it seriously. You deserve it. And I'm going to leave it at that. But please let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, have any struggles, you have anything you want me to help you figure out. I'll be more than happy to help. Comment, message, email, whatever you guys need. I'm here for you. Well, have a great day. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.